So there is something called SMART goals. So I think it stands for specific, measurable, attainable. There's another R in there.
R and
Maybe
T.
it's realistic.
Yep,
Yeah.
and T,
And then
tangible.
T might be time-based, I
Oh,
think.
Tant.
Tangible as well. Yeah. I want the spirits in the air to make sure it flows me into. You can't have none of that, because it's got to be in your control as well.
The R is actually relevant. Is that what you said?
Relevant.
Relevant.
No,
yeah.
I didn't. I
He
definitely
said
said something else.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
relevant.
definitely wrong. But I think when we're coming to the table, we've got to make sure that we've for starters got the right mindset going into it. Like as we're saying, we're comparing to ourselves. We've also got to make sure we're taking a stock point of where we want to go. And part of that is trying to make sure things are specific. So specific, you can also put in the subcategory of the time frames. So like we just said in that example. So as Nick was saying before, you need to make sure the time frame is appropriate for these things. We need to make sure exactly we know what to do. Because if we know exactly what we're going to do, we can have the best straight line road towards that place. It's like, I kind of want to do this and that. Well, it's hard to actually program or, create the right path that goes to maybe left, maybe right, maybe a U-turn, maybe a dogleg turn. It's very hard like that.
Yeah, true.
You know what a dogleg turn is? Yeah, huge arms.
But yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to, what I was trying to get at is like, even though you're setting goals, that SMART goals is what exactly was what I wanted to hit, and then kind of hit the sweet spot. Saying that make sure you know what your priorities are. Like, don't be, I would say, don't set goals that you won't be able to achieve. Set small goals. Nobody is defeating you because you don't have a competition. People always say all these things that, oh, the world is a competition. It only is a competition if you want a job or if you're going for a job interview. That's a different competition. But
what's also like, in order to set goals, you need to know also, like, it's very cliche. It's like any kind of personal trainer that works in a gym. Most of the time when they get new clienteles, for example, they sit down with that clientele, they obtain all their information, they run through screening tools, and then they perform, the SMART goals, needs analysis, all those kind of things. And then they also form a baseline of where that client is at. You find out what their exercise history is. Maybe depending on the client, there could be some testings involved just to kind of see relatively where they're at and things like that. So, that's having
assessment.
Pretty much, yeah, correct. And you need those kind of, but you need all that information to kind of set goals going forward.
Exactly.
So definitely important. Just like, even if exercise history, is not much, or it extends back 5 years, sometimes it's relevant information that can help you going forward. So definitely is got to be considered when thinking about how to set goals.
Yeah, because I know it's definitely like a thing of like we're trying to move from point A to point B. And we were like talking about mainly the B, but I think what you alluded to was more the A, like finding out, your history and this and that. And that's going to tie into those goals again. Because if you know how they've gone with certain things or what things are going to hold you back, it's going to help make the time frame more realistic. Someone's got, like, you're saying before Prime Tick, they've got no job, their bread and butter is the industry, that's how they're getting paid. They'll have more resources, this and that, to go towards it. You can get to their goal potentially a little bit quicker. So you need to find that A part, and then with the subsector of time frame it's got to be manageable.
True.
So
and I actually
and stuff.
I was just going to allude, I think that's probably one of the big mistakes that we do. I see a lot in this industry is a lot of people, they focus on, like you're saying, they focus on the B and they forget about the A. And they don't realize how important the A is to getting to B. And exactly. So when we're thinking about, what mistakes do we see in this industry, that is one of the most basic, simple ones that people just push aside. Majority of people push aside. A very minority group. The high level coaches out there, Conor. they don't, exclude. So like that, I would say when I see a lot of trainers out there, that's definitely one of the big mistakes that I see that a lot of trainers do. Well, it's important to focus on your A, and also, this is for trainers especially out there. Like, not everything is always such a one size fits all approach. Like, I think people need to understand that people come from various backgrounds, and people come or are at different stages in their training. So training age in particular, and I think when it comes to setting up goals and moving forwards, understanding those aspects, are so important. When you neglect it, mistakes are made, injuries happen. There's a reason probably why you can never retain a client, because they're simply not, hitting goals. Say you take someone who's barely ever trained, right? And you're basically having to teach them new movements and things like it. It's completely, like novel, like not, it's new to them. They don't understand it. They don't know you're there coaching and guiding them. Do you really think it's, like should you be slapping on all this weight, trying to make them, like execute form incorrectly and things like that? Is that really, yes, their goals might be improved strength. Doesn't mean you load 100 kilos on a deadlift bar kind of thing. Or
what was it? Lift, like bro. Don't matter. Lift, bro.
But yeah, so that's basically what, some of the mistakes that I, generally see.
This is very correct. Like, I would definitely agree to Nick that not in case of trainers only. It's in case of any sort of, even if you're doing goal setting for yourself, you should be mindful of what you're doing and what your primary target is, so that you can set B. You shouldn't just look into other people and saying, oh, he can do it, why can't I? Probably it's his bread, and you don't know what he has been through to do that. He might have been doing this for 10 years. It might look easy to you, but when you go there and try to do it, you fail. And you just make a fool out of yourself. You might be able to, it's like, oh, this guy's lifting a car, I can do that. You go lift a car, but you get injured, but you impress people who are looking around, and next day you're in a wheelchair. So
the longer people follow, I guess, these bad, patterns, the more you have to unlearn everything that you've learned.
Exactly.
And that sometimes, can stem from, people out there that have been coached, wrong, or listen to the wrong people. What's that phrase, Frantic?
Want to call out some names, Frantic?
Memories.
Yeah, I know.
Memories bring back you. Ooh, 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 ooh. But no, this is very nicely put, Nick. Very nicely put. Practical. We have seen some first-hand practical applications of people being wrongly coached. It's not only on the coach as well. It's also on the student. Sometimes the student picks up wrong because the student cannot assess themselves. So, the coach might be right, and then the student don't pick up, or student don't follow. You don't get to the goal that easily then. Like, you won't be able to achieve the goal in the set period of time if you're not following what it is. Sometimes people just think that, okay, he gave me 3,000 calories and he's telling me that I'm going to lose weight. Hey, there is a procedure to it. You're eating 3,000 calories just to speed up your metabolism, so that your body can get used to food. It can get used to faster burning of fat at the same time. But a lot of people don't realize this. He's like, oh, wow, 3,000 calorie diet. Wow, I'm going to go fat. No, you're not going to go fat if you're burning that calories in the scheduled amount of exercise. Because if a person is actually prescribing you 3,000 calories of food while you're getting lean, that means he knows that you are you're at a level where you can do it.
Thank you for watching the Forge podcast. If you enjoyed it, we'd love for you to subscribe. If you want to find out more about us, check the description. And as always, thank you for listening.